Stellantis, U.S. tariffs cost car maker €300 million. How global trade is affected. In a striking revelation, Stellantis, the automotive giant responsible for well-known brands such as Vauxhall, Jeep, and Fiat, has disclosed that the tariffs imposed by former U.S. President Donald Trump have resulted in a staggering loss of €300 million, approximately £259.6 million or $349.2 million. This financial setback stems from the tariffs affecting trade dynamics and the company's inability to meet its production targets as a direct consequence of these tariffs. Since April, a hefty 25% tariff has been levied on cars imported into the United States, a move that has significantly disrupted the global automotive market and supply chains. This policy has compelled several manufacturers, including Jaguar Land Rover, JLR, to temporarily halt their exports to the U.S. Stellantis, which boasts a portfolio of 14 distinct car brands, including Alfa Romeo, Maserati, Citroën, Chrysler, and Dodge, reported a 25% decline in shipments to North America during the 3 months leading up to June, compared to the same timeframe in 2024. This downturn is partially attributed to the impact of the tariffs. Additionally, the company noted a 10% drop in total sales during this period, as indicated by preliminary figures for the first half of the year. While Stellantis operates manufacturing facilities in the United States, it also produces vehicles across various regions, including the UK, Europe, Canada, Mexico, and South America. The company has projected revenues of €74.3 billion for the first half of the year, alongside a net loss of €2.3 billion, which accounts for the repercussions of the tariffs. When these tariffs were first introduced, Trump claimed they would invigorate the American automotive industry. However, just a month later, he relaxed tariffs on foreign car parts, raising questions about the effectiveness of his initial strategy. In May, the UK government negotiated a deal with the White House to reduce car tariffs to 10% for up to 100,000 vehicles, a significant increase from the previous 2.5% tariff. Meanwhile, other nations continue to engage in discussions with the US, as Trump has recently threatened to escalate tariffs on the European Union and Mexico should they retaliate against the US tariff policies. Moreover, Trump has indicated a potential increase in tariffs on Brazilian exports to 50% if Brazil does not withdraw a legal case against former President Jair Bolsonaro, a Trump ally facing allegations related to a coup plot. Stellantis operates 3 facilities in Brazil, where it manufactures Fiat, Jeep, and Citroën vehicles. Stellantis is not alone in grappling with the fallout from Trump's tariffs. In June, JLR revised its profit forecasts downward after ceasing all exports to the US in April, only to resume shipments in May following the UK agreement. Recently, JLR announced plans to eliminate up to 500 management positions in the UK due to ongoing sales pressure stemming from the tariffs. This situation raises critical questions about the long-term implications of such tariffs on the automotive industry. Are these measures truly beneficial for American manufacturers, or do they create more harm than good? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Stellantis faces $2.7 billion loss, tariffs and financial challenges explained. In a startling announcement, Stellantis, the automotive powerhouse behind well-known brands like Jeep, Dodge, Fiat, Chrysler, and Peugeot, has projected a staggering net loss of approximately €2.3 billion, around $2.68 billion, for the first half of the year. This revelation, made public on Monday through preliminary figures, highlights the significant financial strain the company is experiencing, largely attributed to pre-tax net charges and the early repercussions of U.S. tariffs. The company anticipates a first-half net revenue of €74.3 billion, a notable decline from the €85 billion reported during the same timeframe last year. This drop in revenue underscores the challenges Stellantis faces in a competitive market, especially in light of the financial guidance that was suspended on April 30th, leaving investors and analysts in the dark about the company's future performance. Stellantis's decision to release these preliminary and unaudited financial figures stems from a stark contrast between the expectations set by analysts and the company's actual performance. This situation poses a significant challenge for the newly appointed CEO, Antonio Filosa, who took over in May following the unexpected resignation of his predecessor, Carlos Tavares. Tavares stepped down amid a troubling decline in profits, dwindling sales, and various operational issues in the U.S. market. On the stock market, shares of Stellantis saw a 1% decrease on Monday, slightly recovering from earlier losses, yet the stock has plummeted by approximately 38% since the beginning of the year. This decline raises questions about the company's strategic direction and its ability to navigate the current economic landscape. The impact of tariffs has been particularly pronounced, with Stellantis identifying 4 critical factors that have adversely affected its results in the first half of the year. These include initial measures aimed at enhancing profitability, around €3.3 billion in pre-tax net charges, increased industrial costs affecting adjusted operating income, fluctuations in foreign exchange rates, and the early effects of U.S. tariffs. The company has indicated that it expects to incur an initial loss of €300 million in its first half results due to these tariffs, alongside planned production losses as part of its strategic response. The complete financial results for the first half of 2025 are set to be disclosed on July 29, which will provide further insights into the company's performance. During a call following the release of preliminary results, Stellantis's chief financial officer, Doug Osterman, warned that the total impact of U.S. tariffs for the entire year could escalate to between €1 and €1.5 billion, according to reports from Reuters. Furthermore, Stellantis's overall shipments in the second quarter are estimated to have fallen to around 1.4 million vehicles, marking a 6% decrease compared to the previous year. In North America specifically, the company anticipates a decline of approximately 109,000 units in second quarter shipments, reflecting a 25% year-on-year drop. This reduction is primarily due to decreased manufacturing and shipment of imported vehicles, which are the most affected by tariffs, as well as lower sales through fleet channels. But here's where it gets controversial. How will Stellantis adapt to these challenges? And what strategies will they implement to recover from this financial setback? As the automotive industry continues to evolve, what are your thoughts on the impact of tariffs on major manufacturers? Do you believe Stellantis can turn things around, or is this just the beginning of a more significant decline? Share your opinions in the comments.